our next speaker is Mary McGlasson. She is a faculty at Chandler-Gilbert Community College. She's a leader in her field, and from what I hear, she makes economics easy to understand. I need that. Her 25 years of teaching experience is evident in her work and also in her infectious personality. She has free ebooks or free textbooks, iBooks or ebooks, and free videos, which have reached millions of people around the world. With having developed and delivered over 100 workshops and summer institutes, we're kind of in for a treat. Yeah. So please help me welcome her to the stage. Oh, I can't welcome her yet. What else do we know about her? So when I was watching her presentation, her title, as you can see in your program, says Stick Figures and Sock Monkeys. So you can imagine that I was super excited. I was like, this is going to be cool. And then she was talking about how, well, you know, I don't know if I need this presentation clicker. And I was like, oh, she's going to have sock monkeys on her hands. That didn't happen, but it's still super cool. Also, as faculty in dance, you wouldn't expect this, but we have a dance technology degree. And one of those components is making films. So looking at what she does with her videos and using stick figures as objects was really inspirational, because I always look at the films and like, okay, so now this has to be a beautiful work of art. So I can't make that film because I can't draw. But now I'm looking at her stick figures being like, this works, guys. This totally works. So she's inspired me to shrug off some of that fear of artistic ability when it comes to drawing and just go ahead and start those videos I've always wanted to make. It looks like we're ready to go. So please now help me welcome Mary McGlasson to the stage.
Good morning. Happy Groundhog Day. Nobody said that yet, so they didn't steal my thunder. I was actually thinking about what I learned this morning while I was waiting backstage, and I realized that I should embrace and gut my metaphorical fish. I should try to innovate. Communication, always important. Kind of mentally running through all of them. Oh, my husband's Oculus Rift is now obsolete, and he's going to be buying something new this year, so it's good to have a warning about that one. And emeritus does not mean tweed jackets with elbow patches. So, just saying. But what I really want to talk about this morning, it's going to be sort of a, well, let's see if it goes, story of how your worst failures can turn into some of your biggest successes. Okay? I certainly never planned to teach with sock monkeys and stick people. It sort of grew, as I will tell you in a couple of minutes. But while I was preparing for this talk this morning, I found the following quote. Teachers have three loves: love of learning, love of learners, and bringing the first two together. And as I'm sure all of you know, it's that number three that's the hard part. The first two come naturally. The third one's the difficult one. How do you bring the learners and the learning back together? And sometimes they don't naturally come together. A lot of times you find that the learners and the learning aren't connecting. So then what do? You step back initially and say, all right, well, is it the students? Are they not motivated, not prepared? Are they, just generally disinterested, which is often the case with economics? Or is it me? Is there something else that I can be doing? And most of the teachers that I know are actually automatically going to default to the, it must be my fault. What else could I be doing for the students? So we do fall back on that. What more could I do? can I do a better job of connecting my learners with the learning? And my big story for the morning is back in 2004, I think. We surveyed 500 or 600 students and said, how would you like to learn economics? What format would you like to see? And a lot of them said they wanted online, but some of them said, well, we like this idea of the mixed format because hybrid was still fairly new. We'd like to have this meet you once a week, then do our online work and come back together kind of idea. So my division chair asked if I would do that, and I said, sure. I've been teaching 15 years. I've got the material down. I have a heavily web-enhanced course. We're using Blackboard at the time, so a lot of stuff up on Blackboard. I'm good to go. But I wasn't. This was me teaching hybrid the very first time. I could not make it work. I thought I had it. I organized it before I started, and those of you who know me know that if nothing else, I'm organized. But I couldn't get them to gel in the classroom face-to-face. I couldn't get them to gel online in their discussions. I lost 50% of my students. I never lose 50% of my students. Usually it's more like 85 or 90% retention in my classes. Lost half the class. So I parted ways with hybrid after that first semester. I just decided I wasn't doing any good for the students. It just wasn't going to happen. But the problem is, of course, the students still wanted it. The need is still there. There's still an audience for that type of class. So then what? So a year or two after I had cooled off from my failure, a year or two later, my division chair said, do you want to try it again? And to try it again, I really needed to do something very different and back up from the whole way that I had been teaching, which was, go in and lecture and do some active learning. And but that was given 2 times a week face-to-face. So interestingly enough, the seed of my success started here at Scottsdale. There was a summer institute on digital storytelling at SCC, summer 2000, 05, 06, something like that. And I took that summer institute, also people who know me, I finished my project that we had 4 days to do in a day and a half. So I was sitting around and going, oh, okay, what else can I do? And so I actually threw together a short video using stick people. And I thought, I wonder why, you could use this for teaching. Storytelling Institute is often focused on personal stories, but we tell stories all the time in the classroom, so why not use this technique for teaching? So I did. Let's see if I can. Okay. Using basically the process that they gave us, and you kind of see in the background here the way that I create my videos, I laid out all the topics that I would normally cover in my classes, and I scripted them, and I created all the drawings for them, and I put them together into a set of videos that I then put up on YouTube, and I'm able to use through the learning management system, able to use it through Canvas. And the students like it. They would rather do that, of course, than sit down and read a textbook. They would probably rather do that than listen to me lecture to them. In fact, I have a lot of people who will thank me for teaching them in 5 minutes what their professor took 2 hours to talk about. It did help with the success of the course. I got back in the saddle, and now my courses are, in fact, back to my usual retention levels. Success rates are pretty good. Students in the class tend to either be quite successful or they fail spectacularly and go down in flames. But that's a discussion for another day. What I didn't expect was this worldwide audience that jumped in. Once you make stuff open, it really is open. I mean, this internet thing, people are using it. For like 160 countries. People from 160 different countries. I get messages from India and Taiwan and Singapore and Germany and, all these other people saying, we love your materials. Can we use them? Can we translate them into other languages? And I'm sure. I mean, I thought it was going to reach a couple hundred students in my classes, but in fact, this past summer, I passed 10 million views on my channel. I do get a lot of messages, but I brought one with me that I wanted to share. There's me, teaching my hybrid classes now, no longer pulling my hair out. I don't have the cape. Somebody tried to get me to bring a cape today, but no cape. I can do this, though. So here's the one message I wanted to share.
I've received thanks, praise, criticism, and believe it or not, the occasional marriage proposal.
True
but for
story.
some reason, this letter is the one that stands out. Dear Dr. McGlasson, thank you for letting me use your videos. I teach macroeconomics online for UMUC Europe. Most of my students are military or the spouses of military personnel, and almost all of my students are in Europe or the Middle East. A colleague of mine uses your videos, and I watch them while auditing her classroom. I started teaching for UMUC Europe last winter when I was deployed to Kabul, Afghanistan. I was with the U.S. Army Infantry. I taught face-to-face in Kabul to my fellow service members. I'm enclosing a picture of my class in Afghanistan. UMUC Europe asked me if I wanted to continue teaching online. My first online class was macroeconomics last fall, and I'm presently teaching my second macro class. I've found your videos to be very helpful, especially in an online environment. Thanks again, Robert Wilkins, Adjunct Assistant Professor, UMUC Europe.
I just thought that was amazing for something that I built for myself and for my students to have that kind of reach and help people overseas learn the same stuff that we're learning in our classrooms here. I think, well, if you were in my class, I would talk to you about positive externalities and spillover effects, but I won't do that because nobody wants to take econ. They don't. Yeah, you're laughing. Try teaching a room full of people who don't want to be there. At the risk of seeming like I am going off into left field somewhere here, I will come back to my point. But for the moment, I have a question for you. If you'd be so kind, grab your cell phones. I would like to ask you the following. It comes up here. What is the cost of a new textbook for your class? And in order to answer this, Poll Everywhere is your new friend. Your new friend's phone number is 37607. So you are sending a message to Poll Everywhere at 37607. In order to answer, in the body of your text, you're going to put 72261, and then a space, and then your answer. And I have somebody proxying me, putting in the price of the book for my class, because I just looked this semester, and it went up again, and I couldn't believe it. So, give everybody. So, yes, you're going to send it to 37607. That's the contact you're sending it to. And 72261 is the number of the poll that you're responding to. And then a space, and then the price tag. Okay, so I'm seeing prices like, ooh, there is a 0 up there, which is actually for my class nowadays. But I'm seeing 150, 200, 300, a few people in the $40 to $50 range trying to get down to those low-cost classes, $80. I'd say anything under 100 is a bargain these days. Before I took my first sabbatical, about 2005, the book for my class was maybe $120 new, and I came back and it was $240 within the space of a year or two. It had doubled in price. And I checked this past semester in the bookstore, $285 for a new textbook. It's $268 for the students to take the class, and it's $285 for the book. I won't do that. Okay. Just for an additional visual for you, Economist magazine published this graph, because economists. The light blue line is the consumer price index. The dark blue line is your textbook prices. So going up way faster than the average cost of living is your textbook prices. What do we do about it? I tried a lot of things. one of my colleagues and I, this was our thing for years, is that we tried to bring costs down. Let's get a book that's printed in only black and white. Let's get a book that is not bound and is 3-hole punch. Let's try. And none of it worked. The bookstore would take its extra markups, or the students couldn't sell them back, or ultimately, I realized after I had created all those videos for my classes, there are tools out there. Coincidentally, iBooks Author became available right around the same time that I had all those videos finished. And it's free, and it's easy to use. And so I put all of that video content into iBooks Author, so you can see in the background here, I'm kind of going through and giving a tour of one of my iBooks, but I had the video content, so that's easy to drop in. I had the script for my videos, so that provides text for my book. They let you add a glossary in the back. You can put in slideshows. You can put in interactive quizzing for the students at the end of each section so that they can test themselves on their knowledge. So I was able to create this resource for students and make it free to them. Okay. There's always some kind of hurdle. You know, is it really that easy to do this? I love this graphic. They're like, of course it's easy to create your own ebooks. Hard is time travel, right? Somewhere in the middle is getting your doctorate. Over here is creating an ebook. Right, so I mean, even they have on their spectrum here that teaching a class for the first time is harder than creating an ebook, which is true. Because when you create a class for the first time, you have to create all those materials. You have to come up with everything for it. Once you've done that, you have all the content that you could then go and drop into an ebook. My problem, though, was I created the iBooks, and I love them. They are still my favorite. But, new challenge, you can only use them if you have an Apple device, and not all my students have Apple devices. So then what do? I was able to apply and go on sabbatical in 2015, 2016, and one of the components of that was searching for a tool that would allow me to take the content that was in the iBooks and put it in something that's a universal platform. So I did that with atavist.com, if anybody's interested in that. I have a new set of books. You can see my book covers in the background. So now I give my students a choice. The books are free. You can get the iBooks if you want them, or you can get the same content in this web-based version, which, you know, the downside is you can't use it offline, but the upside is any device with an internet connection can access the books. Okay. So I know people have been frantically taking notes all morning. I'm watching the people around me and the stuff they're jotting down. If you want to know more about anything that I've been talking about here, if you want to know more about open educational resources, I built a website while I was on sabbatical that has information, the basics of OERs, digital storytelling, what is it, how can it be useful to you, and how to do it. Creating videos, I have a bunch of sample videos using different tools because not everybody's at the same skill level, or unbelievably, not everybody wants to draw stick people to teach their classes. They say, I'm not an artist, I can't do it. And I'm a fine partner in Pictionary now, let me just tell you. You want me on your team. Creating iBooks and ebooks, all of these resources are available if you go to create-oer.weebly.com. And I'm assuming somebody, one of the fine people who has invited us out here, will be giving resources from the talks today. So I will also make sure that they have it as well. And if you don't want to create anything of your own, but you just want some entertainment, go watch some economics videos with sock monkeys and stick people. youtube.com/mjmfoodie, that's me. And I would hope, though, you know, I started out saying this is the story of me taking my big failure and seeing some amazing things come out of it, that you think about that if you're struggling having your students connecting with the content, that you step back and say the tools might be out there for me to do something incredible and provide something for even a wider audience than just the students that I have in my classroom. Thank you.
Hello, thank you. What a great message, right? If you're not failing, you're not learning. It's kind of the same in dance. If you're not falling, you're not learning, right?